Hello there, my Chiari lovelies. It is your Chiari sister, Melissa. I don't think any of you knew that was my name. Well, now you do. Anyways, the reason we are here today is because I want to discuss the importance of Chiari specialist, neurosurgeon. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about Chiari, because I do know and understand that I do have a lot of individuals that watch my videos that don't have Chiari, but other chronic illnesses. So, basic doctor, specialist, the importance of it. So the reason why I decided to do this particular video today is because on one of my Chiari support groups called Chiari Warriors, W-A-R-R-I-O-R-S. Yeah. Anyways, in that support group, one of the admins made a post a few days ago. And it starts out, let me tell y'all some questions to ask your doctors to make sure they really are true Chiari specialists, as some doctors are trying to say they specialize in Chiari, but they clearly don't. And she lists 5 questions that I will be sharing with you today. And they're actually very, very good questions, and questions I wish I asked my first neurosurgeon. I can only speak from experience here. Everybody experiences things differently. But my first neurosurgeon, who actually is only 20, 30 minutes away from our house, he told me he was a Chiari specialist, and I took him for his word. And I did some research on him, but I didn't do deep, thorough research, and I didn't ask the vital questions at the time. So he did my first 2 surgeries. The first surgery, he did posterior fossa decompression, which is they took out the back, a little piece of the back of my skull. Then they cut out the dura lining right there. And then they just put a new, they cut the top of my spine, the top vertebrae, the C1, just the back portion of it, and then they placed a bovine dura, which is the lining of a cow heart. There are many different types of materials they can use, but this doctor chose the bovine, which is fine because I love animals. Now I can say I'm part animal because I have the lining of a cow heart in my head. Win-win, right? Anyways, so then after that surgery, he said he cured me. But as we all know, there is no cure for Chiari Malformation. So anyways, my dog is back. I don't know what she's doing back there, but it's a lot of noise. If you hear it, I apologize. But if you see and watch any of my other videos, you know my dog is crazy. So you could expect some noises. So anyways, yeah, so I developed a lot of swelling in the back of my head, as you can see on one of the pictures in the opening intro. The back of my head was swollen. It was actually deformed back here because there was so much CSF, cerebral spinal fluid, leaking. So I went back to the hospital, and my husband and I, after about 5 visits to him, the neurosurgeon, and to the ER, my husband and I had to actually beg and convince the neurosurgeon to do a second surgery and repair the leak, because it was not repairing itself after 2 months. My symptoms were getting worse. I eventually lost my eyesight on Christmas Day on the way home from my parents' house. I couldn't walk. I think I passed out or fell out maybe 3 times on Christmas Day. So I had my second surgery 3 days after Christmas of 2018. About 2 months after that, in February, I had a mild stroke. Well, my neurosurgeon said it has nothing to do with your brain. Is there a stroke in your brain? Just wondering. Anyways, so Nala. Sorry, the Chihuahua is now scratching at the door and acting really crazy. So anyways, he said it had nothing to do with the brain. It had nothing to do with the Chiari, even though he told me about 10 minutes before that it had nothing to do with my brain. He did say that there was a small section of my brain that was not receiving blood flow. That is one of the main causes of a stroke, is when a part of your brain is not getting the sufficient blood it needs. Anyways, so he said, I'm just going to back out of this now because it has nothing to do with your Chiari, because I cured you. I have fixed it. Yeah, no, you didn't. So that's the moment I chose to fire him. And a wonderful friend of mine, who is the sister of my parents' neighbor, she is good friends with Dr. Rosner in North Carolina, which is 6 hours away from me. And through her, I was able to set up an appointment with him. Well, first of all, he did a ton more tests on me, even more tests than the first neurosurgeon did. And he looked at my MRIs, and within 2 minutes of looking at them, at the before MRIs, the MRI I did after my first surgery, and then the MRI I had after my second surgery, he said, this doctor really didn't do anything. My brain was still fused to my brain stem and dropping even further actually down my neck. So he went in, he did the third surgery. So far, everything is good. My third surgery was about a month ago. Actually, almost a month ago today. I had it on April 10th. So yeah, almost a month ago today. No, yeah, something like that. Anyways, I still have a little brain fog. I apologize. So I am still having a few rough patches with the recovery, but that's to be expected. I had my skull cracked open again. They actually did take out a small piece of my brain, as you all know. So, but as you can see, I am feeling great and for the most part today. I have moments where I'm high as a kite like I am right now, and then where I'm just low, and I just feel horrible. So these are the questions that Brandy Wilkins, who is one of the admins on the Chiari Warriors page, support group page on Facebook, stated, and they are so legit. It is so important you ask these questions. Number one, how long have they been studying Chiari? That is important. Chiari is very much in its research infancy. There are a lot of doctors, there are even a lot of neurosurgeons who know nothing about Chiari. So it is important to know how long they've actually been studying this, because so much can go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. Number two, how many Chiari surgeries do they do a week? Not every month or every year, but every week. And as she also states, because a true specialist will do multiple Chiari surgeries weekly. And that is very true. My first doctor, the first neurosurgeon, I asked him that question, and he told me about 5 a year. And I was like, oh, okay. I kind of had caution with that, but I was like, okay, well, I mean, he does 5 a year, and he said they were successful. But then again, he also told me he cured me of Chiari, and he did not. Sorry, I hit the mic. I hope that did not sound too loud in your ear. Abby, that's enough. Told you it was going to happen. Abby. Okay, question number 3. Do they see other types of patients, or mainly Chiari or related conditions? Now, if they do see other neurological patients, that's fine. My new doctor, who is a Chiari specialist, he sees other patients that don't have Chiari, and it's completely fine. The little one wants to make an appearance today. And that's completely fine. But you want to have an actual specialist to deal with you. And I cannot stress that enough. Question number 4. What is the plan for pain control immediately after surgery while in the hospital, and then also for months and possibly years after if you still have headaches? Will he or she provide pain control or refer you to pain management? This is actually a very good question to ask also. They all are great questions, but this is also a good question. My first neurosurgeon, who again was not a specialist, he basically said, just continue to take the pain medicine until it's gone. If you feel you don't need it anymore, then don't take it. But he washed his hands of me for the most part after the surgeries were done. Dr. Rosner in North Carolina, Hendersonville, North Carolina to be exact, who is a Chiari specialist. Actually, I think he's one of the top specialists in the country, if not the world. But I didn't even have to ask him this question. He just told me. He said, okay, this is what you're going to be doing from now until you leave the hospital. Then after you leave the hospital, you're going to do this. Then I want you to work on these exercises for physical therapy. And he showed me all these little exercises he wanted me to do, which is something a lot of doctors will not do. They want you to pay for physical therapy. And then he said, and then you do this, and that. And I said, okay. He set up, well, this, I'll wait for this one because this is part of the last question. Question number 5. Will he or she follow you for life, or do they consider you cured after surgery? Yeah. My first neurosurgeon definitely considered me cured after surgery. How can I be cured if you can look at my MRIs and see that the Chiari is still dropping down, wrapped around my brainstem, and fused itself to it? Come on. My new doctor, my Chiari specialist doctor, he already stated that he will be following me. I did not have to ask. He basically said, you will not get rid of me. Well, I could if I wanted to, but you know what I mean. He is not going to leave me. So that was very reassuring. He will follow me through my life to make sure that I'm good. And last question, I said there were 5, but there's really 6. She just accidentally put the 6th question on the same line as 5. Last question, number 6. Will they do yearly MRIs? Again, my first neurosurgeon, who is not a specialist, he didn't even want to do an MRI on me until month number 4, I think it was. But he was forced to do an MRI on me when I had the stroke, the mild stroke. Okay. And then after that, he said, after the surgery, I don't really see any reason for us to do another MRI. Well, my Chiari specialist, Dr. Rosner, begs to differ. So I had my surgery last month. I go back again at the end of this month to have an MRI done. Then after this month, I have another appointment to get another MRI done in 6 months. Then after that, unless he sees any other reason to get one before the next time, every single year I will be having another MRI done. Even if we go for 5 years and everything looks great, I still will have another MRI done. So thank you so much, Brandy Wilkins, for sharing these questions, because these are very, very important questions to ask your doctor when you go. I am not saying that all neurosurgeons are horrible, because they are not. Even my doctor who did my first 2 surgeries, he's not horrible. He's just not the best for a Chiari malformation surgery at all, in my opinion, just at all. I'm sure he is brilliant in other aspects of the brain and neurosurgery, just not for Chiari. And I will not mention his name because I'm not going to deter anybody from going to him based off of my experience, because like we all know, everybody is different. So my experience may have just been different based off of what was going on in my head, physically in my head at the time. However, if you ask me my opinion, then I will definitely refer you to Dr. Rosner. Yes, he's a bit of a drive. If you don't live there, he's a bit of a drive. But it is so worth it. It is very much worth driving that extra distance to go and see a specialist. So please be safe, everybody. Oh, and I have an announcement that I would love to make. Okay, my symptoms started to get really bad last year in mid-July. Around mid to late August, I got to the point where I couldn't really walk good on my own. So I had to start using, my first method was I started using a cane. Okay. And then after the cane, I updated, whatever, to a walker. And we also got a wheelchair. So that way, like if we had to do anything with long distances of walking, I would need a wheelchair. But I am happy to say my walking has gotten so much better since the last surgery. So really, I'm kind of done with this. I wish I could just bend it and break it and just throw it away and get out of my life. But I'm not yet, because I do still need it in a sense for some things. But I am just so happy, and it's amazing that people that suffer with chronic pain, we get happy over some of the smallest things. But to me, this is monumental. Yes, I don't need it all the time. Yes, I do need it some of the times. But the baby steps I am taking are just amazing. I want to cry, but I'm going to try not to cry on camera, because when I cry, I get so puffy and red and just, I'm not a pretty crier. I'm such an ugly crier. When I got married, I promised myself I would not cry, because I am such an ugly crier. But yeah, it's the little things that really get us, or at least get me going in my recovery. Yesterday, I actually got up and I did a very small load of laundry. I have not done laundry for my family since like August, and I feel so horrible because my husband has been doing all of the laundry and all of the cleaning and all of the cooking, which we are all thankful, or we will all be thankful when I can go back to the cooking, because he cooks for sustenance, not for enjoyment of the taste buds. Anyways, I'm just really excited that the walker, or the walker too, but the cane will soon be a distant memory. So take pleasure in these little milestones. No, you are not going to get up after surgery and run a marathon. You can't even run from your bed to the bathroom. You can't even do that. So take pleasure in these small things that you will be able to do. Because I'm sorry. That makes me so happy. So, yeah. Be mindful of the doctors you go to, because if you go to a doctor who's not a true specialist, he can actually cause more damage than good, like in my case, or worse. And then not only are you dealing with having to clean up their mess, you still have to pay for those hospital bills, which are not cheap. Surgery is not inexpensive in any kind of a way. So yeah, do your research, ask your questions, and if they don't want to sit there and deal with your questions, then don't deal with them, because if they don't want to take your concern into consideration, deuces. So as always, these are my opinions, and as always, I wish you love, peace, happiness, healing, and an abundance of love. So, have a wonderful week, my Chiari lovelies, And speaking of Chiari Lovelies, I am working on a new channel. So I will have this channel for Chiari. You can't, they aren't, you can't see anything now because I haven't done anything with my nails at all except for cut these two, because these two right here decided they wanted to break. So I had to cut all of my nails a lot shorter. They just cried. Oh. But I am starting a new YouTube channel. I will let you guys know when it is open, because majority of my viewers on this channel are females. It is a nail channel, a nail tutorial channel. And I haven't done anything with my nails this time, only because, like I said, I broke these two nails and I just want them to have a little bit of time to grow out and whatnot. But I am working on different videos now, building up that collection, and then I will be debuting my nail art channel. So if you like nail art, then come and see my channel once it's up. I will also be discussing different ways to make your nails a lot stronger, because with Chiari, or really any type of medical condition that you have, when you have to take a lot of medicines, it weakens your nails. And that's why these two broke, because my nails have gotten really soft. And I don't like that. They used to be so strong, but they're starting to build themselves back up, which I'm proud of. So we will be discussing all of that too. So anyways, I am not going to hold up your time any longer, because I see this video is already quite a bit long. But I wish you again love, peace, happiness, health, healing, blessings, lots of love. Enjoy your week. Bye. I'm just going to let her do her thing for a minute. Isn't she cute though? Show your cute little face, Abby. Show your cute little... Oh, you're sleepy. She's just so sleepy.